Okay, so here we have a Kubernetes cluster running a Postgres database. We're going to log into this Postgres database and issue some commands to add data to this database. And so what this actually does is we already have an autopilot rule set up with the approval status configured, meaning that it will need approval to resize the database. So what we're going to do is run the PG bench to fill up the database so that the volume is more than 30% full. And so here we're running that PG bench command, and in just a short second, this will complete, and we can look at the output of the file system and mounts to see that the data is in fact in our Portworx volume. All right, so let's do a df-h, and what we should see is a number of above 30%. Here you can see that the varlib PostgreSQL data is mounted to a Portworx volume, and it's about 50% full of the 5 gigabytes. So our rule that we set up is already applied to the cluster, but we'll go ahead and take a look at it real quick. This is the autopilot rule that is already applied to the cluster, but what this is saying is that it's going to target the Postgres database using the label, and it's going to say that when this volume is greater than 30% full, we're going to resize that volume by 100% of itself. So in this case, it's 5 gigabytes now, and it will increase by 5 gigabytes. That's 100%. And the enforcement is approval required, so we will need to approve this before it occurs. You can see that because we ran that PG bench command, the autopilot rule already was triggered. And after it's triggered, normally it would go ahead and take action, but in this case, we wanted approval. So now it's just waiting for approval. So our volume hasn't been resized, and these events should be kind of acted upon. We can get the approvals using the CLI as well, just by running the kubectl get action approval command. And you can see it's just pending, which basically means we need to approve it. So from the CLI, the easiest way to do this is to patch the action approval object. The way that you do this is to use the kubectl patch command on the action approval object, give it the actual object name, and apply the approval state to approved. This will essentially approve the resize action. And so if we go back to our events, we should see that it goes from pending to in progress, and that the actions were in fact taken. So now our volume should be resized by 100% since we approved it and it did continue. So the easiest way to go and check this is to exec back into the container or look at the PVCs. And here we can see that it's now only about 25% full, and the size is 10 gigabytes. So that is effectively using autopilot rules with approvals. And this is the approval method using kubectl. I hope this was useful, and until next time, take care.